Man, I just ate way too much spaghetti. Regardless, first session of the year, loss of the week. Let's just dive straight into. All right, let's see if the profiles could have helped us today. Profiles, please. All right, so what happened today? So yesterday we sold off hard. The overnight bought it up straight again, all the way back to the tippity top here, back towards that high volume zone of that composite here. Basically trading above prior weekly point of control. So I kind of was bullish up on open. This basically turned into one big liquidity sweep. These highs were still open before open, so longs initially for me were in play. Did got a little bit chopped up. Yeah, that was on my end. I was way too impatient. I made it back, but yeah, not the best trading today. So yeah, up on an open here, I was kind of bullish because we were trading. Let me see here. We opened up right on that prior range high. So that is bullish at its own, opening out of value, slightly in range. So the higher probability is that, or the probability is there that we will reject this value, given that we kind of swept all these lows, trading above that prior weekly point of control. These highs here on the right side were still open. It looked good. It swept it. It just was a pretty choppy first 15 minutes. And then afterwards, we basically immediately failed this level, using this one, in my case, as line in the sand. I went short upon this, expecting this to be then the liquidity sweep. Yeah, we saw the sell side and the absorption on the 1 minute, which we will discuss in a second. Yeah, basically using that higher, basically the overnight high, as protection, and the game plan was that this would have been the sweep, dropping back into range, shorting it here, and then targeting prior value area low, high, and the point of control. I could have held it longer, but yeah, I was drilling really tight here. I mean, that was quite an insane move. It was how many points? 730, 580. So yeah, that'll do it. So I was down like where's my entry screen? I was down like $600, and my DLL got it. I basically was done for the day on the loss, but I kind of was naughty. I bypassed the accounts on a Friday, which is the worst thing you could do. Yeah, so even though I'm green on the day on everything, yeah, that's something that is a very dangerous game. Yeah, regardless, that happens. So let's see if the 1 minute, the entry chart could have helped us. So the mistake I made today, so the market opens up here, right? These levels were marked out, but these came not in play for long for me. So basically, if there's no level, I need to wait. I need to wait for this level to get breached, and then the market will tell me we are using the support, or we will use it as resistance, and then use this level as an inflection point or decision point. Basically, what I was doing, because I was impatient and I was kind of bullish on the whole situation, I drew these lows here, this low, I'll mark this out like this, and I was no orders please. And I was using that as a gauge to go long or short. Initially I had a good long, but it came back all the way back down towards my break even, and then I started flipping the position, and that was a mistake on me. So I got involved. Yeah, I was impatient, just impatient, and you pay for that. I should have not looked too much for an entry level. I just should have waited for price to confirm, as in this top level here was beautiful. You could see it here in price action. Price moving up, sweeping that level. That orange level is this one. You see all the buying going on here. Top side gets absorbed. A lot of buying going on here. They get absorbed here. We create a lower high. This becomes a order block because this for me is into a sweep. Using and seeing here the sellers, we get the absorption. Seller stepping in, basically creating a lower high here. I was in late, but I was short from 730. I think this right on this level. It's like a high volume node of the overnight session. Went short there and then held on to it until the point of control. You can see it was a lot of business being done here, to be expected at a high volume node, and this is exactly where I chilled myself out. But yeah, just the idea of, if this fails, this becomes a liquidity sweep, then we're gonna go to the other side of the range. Same thing as always. So 1, 1, 2, we are dropping back into range, which would mean we probably go test value area high. And if we draw back into value area high and we confirm inside, the probability shift towards 1, the point of control, 2, a complete value rotation, which it did. So it basically melted the whole way through value, dropped out of value, tried to drop back into value, and then rejected that point of control, and then just melted further. I was done for a Friday. It's still chopping around, still super heavy, still rejecting that prior range low here. Yeah, went super bullish upon open, and then everything just flipped around, trapped a bunch of people, and you can see it in the chart, like a ton of people got trapped here, and then price starts melting. Then once you start breaching some lows, they get in trouble, and that's when things really start moving. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, so for me, the mistake that I started fantasizing, or how do you say that, creating zones to trade from, which is doable, but maybe not that on a Friday after the first session of the year. Probably not the best thing. So yeah, that's on me. That's something for me to review further later on. But regardless, not a bad read on the market once we swept that high and price dropped back into that range. Profile wise, yeah, I will do the weekly. It's probably gonna be for tomorrow session to talk about what happens on the weekly. So what we did today, basically, zoom out and then take my drawing tool, please. So this weekly, we closed on top, and then we opened up with a gap to the upside, and then basically chopped around here, and then initially we tried to close the gap didn't close, so we didn't retest this high volume node, which then becomes naked, like a naked weekly point of control in this matter. Price rejects this whole volume node, or like composite high volume node, on the higher time frame, and then we drop, we melt, and where do we stop? Right on that high volume node. So this is a good spot for price to reverse. It's going to be a line in the sand going forward into next week. Because obviously, if we drop back into value, the probability shift towards a value rotation. This is the value area low from that session. The POC is here, and then the value area high. So price drops back into it, straight towards that naked point of control. If we lose this, the probability shift that we trade towards the value area low. If you lose that, the low, and so forth and so forth. So especially the value area low and that weekly point of control here, these two levels become very important for me from next week on to hold as support. For continuation back to the upside, to be seen. But that's for Saturday. That's it for me. I'm gonna chill out now, and I'll see y'all in the next one.